I was thinking we would work our way to the half moon poses, Ardha Chandrasana, and what's the word for the half moon? The revolved half moon. Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, so the revolved half moon. Challenging standing poses, but we'll work our way slowly to that. But to begin with, I'd like to do a little bit of pranayama. There's a breathing technique called Kapalabhati breath. So we'll do some regular breathing, and then we'll go on to Kapalabhati, also known as fire breath, because it is energizing. Place the hands on the knees, sit tall, close the eyes. Just observe yourself. Just observe what's happening. Trying to ground the sit bones, root the sit bones. Feel you're getting length in the spine. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. Broadening across the collarbone. Shoulders nice and soft. And then bring all your attention to the breath, starting to take longer, deeper breaths. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Prompt in future, that would be good. Kapalabhati breathing. It's an energizing kind of breath. You breathe in and out through the nose, and as you exhale, you focus on the exhale. It's a sharp exhale, and as you exhale, you're pulling that belly in. Not the kind of technique to try A if you're pregnant, or B if you have high blood pressure. If you're one of those people, just do a regular kind of breathing. What we'll do, we'll do 3 rounds, and we'll start off with 3 sets, and we'll work off with 10, 15, maybe 20 in each set. So breathe in about 2/3 of the way through the nose. Exhale sharply, pulling in the belly. And then just regular breathing. Sometimes this kind of breathing techniques especially if you're not used to it, it can make you a little bit lightheaded. But the more you practice it, you'll get used to that. Another round. Inhale and go. Regular breathing. Just soften the shoulders, get tall. Last set, a little bit longer this time. Breathe in about 2/3 of the way and go. And then regular breathing. So the downside of this is sometimes you need to have a tissue handy. And as I say, the emphasis is on the exhale. Inhales tend to be just automatic. It is energizing kind of breath, so it's a really good thing to do first thing during the day. Come onto your back. We're going to go up and down into bridge, again using the breath. So come up on the inhale and down on the exhale. And as you come up, just before you come up, push the lower back into the ground. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale as you slowly come down. Inhale. Exhale. All the time you're trying to keep the legs parallel. Try not to let the legs splay out. And you're keeping the gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale coming up. Exhale coming down. Inhale up. Exhale down. So the next time you're in bridge, hold the pose, interlace the hands, and start walking the arms and the shoulders a little bit closer. Getting some space underneath the neck. Pushing the arms, hands into the ground. Legs, as I say, you keep the legs parallel, but the legs are really working hard. The glutes are engaged, the quads are engaged. Feet are glued to the mat. You're pulling the feet towards you. Should feel good. Nice opening of the whole front body. Inhale as you lift up the hips a little bit higher, and then exhale, coming down, releasing the arms, bringing down the upper back, mid back, lower back. Pull the knees in, a little bit of rocking. Take the feet back onto the ground, so the feet are wider than hips. Knees are bent. Windshield wipers, just take the knees over from side to side. Again, with the breath, inhale as the knees come up, exhale as they go down. This is a nice way just to warm the spine up. We get a little bit more mobility there. And we're strengthening the obliques, the back muscles. Move with the breath. Bring the knees back to center. Keep the right foot on the ground. Place the outer left ankle onto the right leg, so it's a figure 4 shape. And we're just going to do opening the inner hip by pushing that left leg away. Keep the right foot on the ground. The foot close to you is active. Heel pushed out, toes pulled in, dorsiflexion. So you can feel that opening of the inner hip. And then we're going to switch, opening the other hip. And then we switch again, but this time recline pigeon. So we take hold of the back of the right leg, pull the legs in, stretching out the outside of the hip this time. And you can do a little bit of rocking if you want, giving the lower back a little bit of a massage. Good for the back, this one. Just rocking from side to side. And then we switch. Recline pigeon other side. Some people call this thread the needle. Some people call it figure 4. I think it's just it's just very similar to pigeon, but we're on our back, so I just call it recline pigeon. A little bit of rocking, working that lower back, and then release. Take the left leg up to the ceiling. Take hold of the back of the leg. Let's just work on the feet a little bit, give the feet a bit of attention, point and flex that foot. Do that a few times. And then just circle in one direction. Circle in the other direction. Point and flex again. And then switch, raising the other leg, point and flex the foot. Circle, other direction, point and flex, and then bring that foot down, knees come in, and just rock yourself up. So we're going to come up and we're going to go on our hands and knees, and let's do cat-cow a few times. Another way to warm the back up. So you're on your hands and knees, inhale, belly down, head up, exhale as you round the back and tuck the chin. Inhaling into cow, exhale back into cat. It's like a wave motion, and you know I do this one a lot. I really like this. It feels good. for the back. Now there should be no discomfort there, unless you have any back concerns, back issues. This should feel good, the back should like this one. The next time you're in cat, hold it, back is rounded, chin is tucked. Head is totally relaxed, and you're trying to pull the belly in closer. You're breathing, don't hold the breath. And then we come into cow, hold cow. Now this time, we're gluing the hands to the mat, and we're trying to pull those hands towards the knees. And we're looking up, and you're going to feel those core muscles starting to engage when you do this. And then we just release and come into a neutral back. So we're going to lift one arm up, opposite leg, and we'll switch. So we're going to do this with the breath. One arm up, opposite leg up, and then we switch. If you'd rather just do the arm, that's fine, wherever you're at. When you lift the leg up, not too high, you want to try and keep both hips even distant to the ground. So don't yank that leg up. Don't want to yank it up as high as you possibly can. What we're trying to do is stabilize the back here. So if you keep that nice alignment, we're strengthening those muscles that keep the back nicely stabilized. The palm, as you reach forward with the hand, palm is facing midline, thumb is facing up towards the ceiling. And we're just moving with the breath. And you're going to feel this after a while. Gets a little, anything you do more and more of starts to get more challenging, right? Hold one side. Try and keep that raised arm in line with the ears. And as I say, you're trying to keep both hips nicely even to the ground. And then we switch. And then let's go into Dolphin, bringing the forearms to the ground. Elbows under the shoulders. The forearms can be parallel with the palms down, or you can have the palms together if you prefer that. Knees up, toes tucked. Push into the ground, head off the ground, and then see if you can pull away from the hands with the shoulders. So you're trying to straighten that line out. Head should be off the ground, and breathe. And I usually like to keep the knees slightly bent on this one. Makes it a little bit easier to get that back fairly neutral. Then onto the hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward. And then come all the way up, and we're back in mountain. So we're going to do a little bit of flow, and as I say, we're going to work our way to half moon and revolved half moon. We'll do plenty of flow first. So you come to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Look up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands, we walk into plank. Hold plank. Think about plank. Try not to sink between the shoulders. Core is engaged. Elbows in as you come down, bringing the knees down, chin chest forward and down. Inhaling into a nice Cobra, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the feet a little closer to each other and bring the right leg up, extended down dog, and stack those hips. Right hip over the left hip, you're bending that top knee, hands solidly on the ground. Nice hip opener. And then we switch other side. Extended down dog, and then add the hip opener. Top foot joins the bottom foot. We look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. And we're back into mountain Tandasana. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Look up. Bit of a backward bend. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Knees down, chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra. Cobra. Hips are down, elbows are bent, shoulders are relaxed. Don't shrug the shoulders up. Downward facing dog. Start walking the dog. Bend one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Nice slow walk. Stretching out the back of those legs. And then we look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, we come all the way up. And then back into mountain. Let's start off in chair pose. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, plank. Knees, chin, chest to ground. Or if you want, you can do Chaturanga. And instead of Cobra, up dog, hips are off the ground, arms straight. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through, coming into Warrior One. Remember, keep that knee over the ankle, no forward. Don't come forward of the ankle. And you can add a little bit of a backward bend, getting more of a stretch on that back leg. You're breathing. You exhale into Warrior Two. Shoulders soft. Lines of energy through the arms. Flow to the other side. Reverse Warrior. Plank. Chaturanga. One knee, chin, chest to ground. Cobra. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, sweep that foot through. Warrior One. Hold Warrior One. Exhale into Warrior Two. Reverse Warrior. Come into plank. Let's hold plank a breath or two. If you need to bring the knees down, you can. Wherever you're at, pull the belly in like crazy. Try not to sink between the shoulder blades. Knees down, chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, folding forward. Knees bent. We're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. I'm so glad it's a little bit cooler today. We've had some really hot weather here. Chair pose. Fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We come into plank. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep this foot through. And we come into Warrior One and Warrior Two. So this time, we're going to add Trikanasana. So let's do a reverse warrior. Back into Warrior Two. And as you do that, you're straightening the front leg. And you're reaching forward over that front foot, and you're bringing that hand down and the other arm up. You want to think straight lines here and breathe. Little bit of a variation. You can take that top arm behind you, reaching for the inside of the thigh. And we're back in Warrior Two. Reverse Warrior, and then we flow to the other side. Some people like to do Trikanasana, hang out in plank. Some people like to do Trikanasana with a block. So instead of reaching the hand down to the leg or towards the foot, you can just rest the hand on the block. Do that if it's easier for you. Knees down, chin, chest forward and down. Inhaling into Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one on the other side. And then into warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then I almost forgot the Trikanasana. Back into warrior two, straightening that front leg, reach, and then Trikanasana, triangle pose. Maybe take the top arm behind the back, reaching towards the inside of the thigh. Come out, warrior two again, reverse warrior, plank, chaturanga on each chin, chest to ground, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a break coming to child's pose. Don't forget, anytime you need to take a little break, child's pose is a nice option. So while you're in child's pose, I'm just changing the orientation of my mat. We're going to do that same routine, but we're going to add half moon, revolved half moon, and you might need a block for that. So from child's pose, back onto your hands and knees, downward facing dog. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, knees bent. We're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Find a block. Half moon. Remember, you guys know this. The block is going to be in front, about 6 or 8 inches of the foot, to the outside of the foot when we do the regular version, to the inside of the foot when we do the revolved version. The higher the block is placed, the easier it is. If you don't have a block, you can just bring the hands or the fingertips down onto the mat. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Engage the core. As you come into chaturanga, knees, chin, chest to ground, cobra or up dog, down dog. You're trying to move with the breath. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in warrior one. Couple of breaths. Exhale into warrior two. Now if you're doing your own practice, or sometimes when I'm doing my own practice, or sometimes with you guys, we go a little bit faster. You can just do one breath per pose. I like to hold it so we can get the alignment a little bit more precise. Reverse warrior. And then we're back into warrior two. As we straighten the front leg, we reach and we come into Trikanasana. Trikanasana, you're trying to keep this a straightness in that top rib. So you're trying not to let it round, which is why you don't necessarily need to go down too far. You can bring that top hip slightly forward if it makes it easier. Come back into warrior two. Half moon. Block is positioned in front of the foot, so I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. And I'm going to reach for the block first and bring that back leg up, open up. And then you're going to activate that top foot. So we're trying to get straight lines here, top hand to that bottom hand, top foot to that top shoulder. With the block it makes it a lot easier to do that. We're making a rectangle between that lower hand, lower leg, ribs and the floor. There's options in this pose, but we'll skip that for today. Since this is the first class we've had in a while, let's try not to overdo it too much. The revolved version. We come back into Warrior Two, and as we come out of Warrior Two, we sweep that back hand. That's just the way I like to do it. And I reposition the block so it's more inside the foot. And then we open up, adding the twist. Do this the best you can. You still got that rectangle between the arm, leg, the ribs and the floor. Challenging pose. And then we come back out and we're back in Warrior Two, hang out in Warrior Two. If the half moon poses are a challenge, you can try doing them against a wall. Maybe start off in Warrior Two against a wall to get into the regular half moon. Warrior Two with your back against the wall if you want to try and get into the revolved version. Let's flow to the other side. Reverse warrior. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Hang out in down dog a few breaths. Get your breath back. Breathe. Look forward, walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up. Exhale folding forward. We're back in chair. And then we come all the way up. So we're going to do this on the other side. I'm going to flip so you guys can see what I'm doing. Inhale into chair. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We're in plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, we sweep that foot through. We're in Warrior One. We hold Warrior One, adding a backward bend. And then into Warrior Two. Reverse warrior, back into Warrior Two. As we straighten our front leg, reach, Trikanasana, triangle pose, just hang out here. Triangle, keep those legs active, engage the quads, lift up the insteps. We come back into Warrior Two, reverse warrior, and then we're going to reach for the block, which is a good 6 inches in front of you. You need to readjust the foot or the block. And we come up, open up, straight lines, breathe. And we come back down. Warrior Two. Get your breath back. Sometimes it's good just to visualize what you're going to do. So we're going to do the revolved version next. I like to do the reverse warrior, and then coming out of it I get a little bit of momentum as I reposition the block. Try and get that good distance between the block and the foot, and then open up. And then we come out and we're back in Warrior Two. I don't tend to hold the revolved version too long. Sometimes it gets a little bit of a struggle to do that. Reverse warrior, and then we're in plank. Keep the block close by. Plank, up dog, down dog. And then we look forward, we walk forward between the hands. Inhale halfway up, exhale folding forward, back into chair, and then we come all the way up. So I'm positioning the mat. So you want to be on the mat. So it's the long side facing you. Have the block in front. And it can be high, low, whatever. Maybe you don't even need the block. The feet are wide apart, the feet are parallel, and we're going to bring the hands onto the block. So if you're looking at the side view like this, you want to try and get the legs vertical, the hands vertical, so don't bring the sit bones back or up, don't have the hands in. So again, we've got those arms and the legs parallel, that sort of rectangle looking shape. We bring the right hand onto the block. As you pull the right shoulder in, down and in, and then we open up, coming into the twist. Breathe. And then we switch to the other side. And bring the hand down. Keep the hands on the block or the floor. Bend one knee as you straighten the opposite leg. Now as you do this, try and keep both feet solidly on the ground. Try not to let the outer edge of the foot come off the ground. We're just moving slowly from side to side. We're moving with the breath. We're stretching out the adductors. We're stretching out the inside of the legs here. Should feel good. It's an area we don't stretch out a lot, so this should feel good. You should feel this one. Hold one leg straight, one knee bent for 3 or 4 breaths. Inhale up, hold on the other side. And then we come back up and we walk those feet together, heel toe, heel toe. Knees are bent and we're back in chair, and then we come all the way up. Actually, I like the view on the Google Meet. They must adjust the camera slightly because there's more of me. With Zoom, my head's usually cut off. It's not cut off quite so much on this one. Let's go down onto the mat. We'll do the flow to get down. So come to the front of the mat. Inhale into chair. Exhale, folding forward and down. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, we plant the hands. We come into plank. Chaturanga. Inhale into up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we're going to go into a low lunge. We're going to bring up the right leg and then sweep that foot through and just place the hands on that front leg. If it's too much pressure on the knee, you can fold the mat, get a little bit more cushioning. So this may be plenty of stretch for you on the front of that back leg. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can bring the arms up and add a bit of a backward bend. Gets you into a deeper stretch. Bring the left hand onto the inside of the foot. Add the twist. Come back into the lunge. Stay in the lunge. I think I'm going to face you guys. Twist with the hand inside, or you can do a twist with the arms outside the leg. Let's try that, a deeper twist. So really try and get that arm low so I can get a little bit of leverage, and then bring the palms together, elbow up towards the ceiling. And if you feel like it, you can bring the back knee off the ground. We release, hands either side of the front foot, and we just switch to the other side. You can just hang out in the lunge like this with the hands on that front leg, or you can bring the arms up, getting into a little bit of a deeper stretch. You're breathing into the twist, bringing the hand inside the foot, opening up. If you want a deeper twist, you bring the arm outside the leg, palms together, maybe bring the back knee up. Oh, another thing is you could separate the arms if you want. Breathe. And then we come out of that twist. We're back into plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. And let's take child's pose. So we're going to do a little bit of some hamstring stretches. We'll do some hamstring stretches and we'll go into lizard. So coming to a lunge again, I'm going to stay on my left side. So why don't you bring your right foot forward? I'm going to do the start off in the mirror image of you guys. So your right foot is forward. Block is handy. Hands either side of the front foot. And we're just going to extend that leg back into the lunge, and we're just going to do that 2 or 3 times. And then we're going to hold the extension and walk the hands a little bit closer. You don't have to go too low, you don't have to come closer to that leg unless you want. This top foot, the front foot, is flexed, toes pointing towards the ceiling, kneecap towards the ceiling, and you're stretching out the back of that leg. So we're getting a nice hamstring stretch. If it's too much, just bend the knee a little bit. This is a good one to hold for a while. Sometimes if I'm doing this by myself, I'll probably hold this for a good minute or even a minute and a half. After this, I'm not going to make you hold it that long today. After this, lizard, and if you want, you can use a block, and you can bring your forearms onto the block. The block can be half height if you want. If that's too much for you, you can just keep the hands down on the floor. If you're a little bit more flexible, forearms onto the ground. What I like to do next in lizard is tuck the toes of the back foot and bring that back knee off the ground. And just hang out here, breathe. And then we come out, take your time. We switch. We're back in the lunge. We extend the front leg. Lunge. Extend. Lunge. Hold the extension. And we're going to hold this for a little bit, maybe walk the hands in a little bit closer. So I'm actually on my fingertips. If you have 2 blocks, you can have one hand on each block, if that's easier for you. But we're just trying to get a little bit of stretch on the back of the leg. Nothing too intense. I always tell people, follow what your body says. If your brain cell says something and your body's saying something different, listen to your body. Back into the lunge and then into lizard with or without the block. Forearms can be both forearms inside the foot, or you can have, if you don't have the block, you can have one forearm on the outside of the foot. And maybe bring that back knee off the ground. And we release. We're back on our hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Walk the dog. And then come face down. Just lie on the mat. And I'm just going to stack my hands, rest and forehead on the stacked hands, just make it comfy. We're just going to do a little bit of leg work here, so we're going to raise and lower one leg. Full range of motion. Working those glutes, working those lower back muscles. Now keep the leg raised for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg raised, but this time do little pulses, fast pulses this time. And then release and just relax. And then the other leg, raise and lower, slow, full range of motion. Work that leg, we're trying to increase our strength here. And then just keep the leg raised for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With the leg raised, little pulses. And then totally relax. See if you can find the feet with the hands. I like to hold on to the inside of the ankles, but you can hold on to the back, front of the feet with just below the toes if you prefer. Dhanurasana. When you do this pose, try not to let the legs splay. Try and keep the legs pretty close to each other. You're using the strength of the legs pushing away from you and then up towards the ceiling. So you're on the hips. You're opening the chest, opening the front body. This is a nice backward bend. You're breathing. Maybe you can come up a little higher. And then we slowly come down and we totally relax. We bring the hands either side of the shoulders and we come into child's pose. Make sure the toes are touching, knees apart. Make sure the arms are extended forward. And then walk the arms over to one side, so adding a bit of a side stretch. And then we walk over the hands over to the other side, stretching out the other side of the back. And then we recenter. And we come up, we sit on the heels, and you're going to lean over and come onto your back. So come onto your backs. Pull the knees in nice and close. A little bit of rocking. take hold of the feet, come into happy baby. Happy baby, keep the head supported. Try and get the tailbone as low to the ground as you can. Take hold of the big toes, palms face each other. Pull the shoulders away from the ears and see if you can straighten the leg, or at least get them a little bit straighter into a V position. We did the standing version of this, stretching out the inside of the legs. Now this is the reclined version. You can go a little deeper into the stretch on this one, I think. So I'm really trying to get that tailbone down. It's almost like I'm trying to lift up the lower back. Tailbone touching the ground, but lower back off the ground. And then we take hold of the back of the legs, we lift the head up and we rock into boat. If you want, you can hold on to the legs, especially if you have back concerns. If your back's good and you have the strength, you can release the legs, you can straighten the legs, you can raise the legs. The straighter and higher the legs, the more you're going to have to work to keep that back neutral. We lower a few inches off the ground, hands behind the head, hands supporting the head, head is off the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We lower. We take a full body stretch. Little bit of a side stretch, getting into that banana shape. And then we stretch out the other side. And then we recenter and we come into Shavasana. So just stay in Shavasana, just totally relax. In Shavasana, breathing is regular. So the version of Google Meet we have that I'm using, it's I only get an hour's time on it, so if we cut off before we come out of Shavasana and I'm not here, no worries, you can just stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Seems like I had to admit everyone into the meeting. I'll see if I can change that setting. So if I can't, it would help if you guys could be pretty prompt so that I don't keep having to go to the screen to admit people. The recording is the same as usual. I'm recording on my phone, so you'll get a usual message once I've got that recording uploaded. One last thing, October 1st I have another commitment, so no class October 1st. So in Shavasana, you just want to check out the body, make sure you're not holding any tension, totally relaxed. If you're ready to come out, walk the feet in, pull the knees in close, roll over to your side, keeping the eyes closed, and just rest on your side for 3 or 4 breaths. Keeping the eyes closed, You gently push yourself into a seated position. And then inhale as the arms come up. Exhale as they come down. Inhale, swooping the arms up. Exhale down. Inhale, arms up. Keep the palms together, hands to the forehead. Namaste.